Okay, good morning. Thank you for joining us. And then just in case you have any staff or colleagues that wanted to join us today or aren't able to, we will be sending out a recording of this and sharing it with all of our Peel and WCCEAL members. So as you can see, we have a very special guest. Lori is here. She's going to be sharing some of her expertise with all of you today. Excited for that. Let's see here. Okay, so the agenda, just going to do a few reminders. We're going to talk a little bit about the survey results for the last quarterly webinar that we had was in March. And so I'm going to highlight a few things with the survey review. Lori's going to take the stage, then I'm going to share a few takeaways and an awesome, fun, impactful challenge for you. So let's get started. First of all, some important reminders. Q3 timeline, right? Oh my gosh, July is just around the corner. So don't forget to submit your QI variables between July 1 and July 15. Obviously, there's a big holiday in between there. So if you need to, put a reminder on your calendar, on your watch, on your phone, to make sure you get your variables submitted between the 1st and the 15th of July. Just a reminder, you need to do that to maintain your WCCEAL member status, to be an active member. And for anyone to maintain or achieve gold status, then between August 1st and September 14th, you need to go in and review your QI variable reports. So if you have multiple facilities, remember you need to click on every single one of those facilities, open up the report and take a look at it. And then obviously, if you have any questions about that, reach out to myself or Taylor. You will obviously be getting email reminders from us because we want to make sure that you stay active in WCCEAL. And for anyone working to achieve a gold status, we're going to make sure you maintain that or are able to reach that achievement. And also something that's really awesome and new this year, we are hosting our first ever Women of Long-Term Care Symposium. This is open to all women working in the post-acute care sector. It's a leadership symposium on August 13th and 14th. We're hosting it in Madison at the Concourse Hotel. Details and information can be found on our website. I have the link here. We'll share it with you again. I really encourage you and your staff to attend this event. The 13th is just a welcome dinner, reception, maybe like a social or networking event. It's all included in registration. And the 14th is a day of wonderful programming. We have an amazing keynote speaker joining us. We have experts within the field of empowerment and leadership development. We're going to be talking about things like biases and overcoming that, having hard conversations, improving your communication skills, improving your leadership skills, because we want to see more women leaders within our long-term care sector. So if you have any questions about that or are curious, reach out to me. I'm really excited about this event, something I'm very passionate about. And I hope to see your faces at that in August. And all right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of the satisfaction survey data. So I went in and looked at some things. I like to look at trends in data because I think that's a really good way for us to learn and to focus on things that we're struggling with, and then also celebrate the things that we're succeeding at. So awesome job. In 2024, we had 1,115 surveys entered from our Peel WCCEAL members. That is such an awesome achievement. We had 709 entered in 2023. So kudos to you. You guys did an awesome job at not only generating the surveys, but getting surveys in. I'd love to see this much data because the more information that we have, the better that we can be, right? Like we have more data to look at and we can improve our quality metrics. So 98 of our 107 members returned a survey. The goal for 2025, as it always is, we want 100% return rate. Remember, you just have to have one survey from your facility submitted. I am very confident we can achieve that. Just looking at the strides that we've made over the last 3 years with your participation in WCCEAL, I am very confident that we will achieve this goal and we will support you along the way. We will send reminders. We will do what we can to make sure you get those surveys in hand, that they're generated, that you have the means to return them in the appropriate time frame. But again, kudos to you. Congratulations. Thank you for taking the effort. I'm so glad that your residents were more engaged and involved, because this is such valuable and important data for you to ensure that your residents maintain high satisfaction rates. And one quick reminder, because I've received a few questions over the last few months for our CBRF members. Did you know that you can actually use the survey results to comply with DHS, what is it, 8342I? There is a form that is on the WCCEAL website that you would just download, sign off on, and include that document with the residents' records. If you'd like, when we send out the recording, I can include that, or a special reminder, because I received a few questions about that. I know we have maybe some new leadership within our member facilities, so it's always a good reminder. And I was actually looking at our Peel WCCEAL program guide, and I realized that this information wasn't in there, so I'm going to make that edit and amendment just to make sure that this information is there, so that you know that, because that is a little tip for you, that you can utilize this information, because you're already doing all this work. You don't need to recreate the wheel, and use the data that you already have. First of all, here's some really cool information. I just wanted to share with you some highlights. So as you can see on here, this is the data, and these are just the averages. I took just a screenshot of this for all the participants in WCCEAL compared to all of you, all of our members. I'm really proud of these scores. You guys are doing a great job. You can see that you're very competitive with your colleagues that are part of other associations and other excellence programs. And so I like to see, because I get kind of competitive, I want to see where I'm at. Like, how are we doing compared to everyone overall? And so I'm going to share a few details and then a few ideas for improvement, and something that you can maybe focus on over the next quarter, so that we can get some of these numbers a little bit higher, because you guys are awesome. I know that you're awesome, and I want to see you shining bright as the best of the best. And I would love to see, even if just in one category, where we shine as the leader. And maybe that's because in the staffing section, because our staff and your staff is so helpful, that we can improve that metric. Again, it's a small metric. A 1% change is going to make a huge impact. And so throughout the next quarter, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about this. You'll see some emails, you'll see some segments from me on Facebook Live and things like that, just sending out little snippets, motivation, resources, tools, so that you guys can be the best of the best, and that the data accurately reflects all of that. Oh, whoa, went back in time. And so this is what I wanted to highlight, because I like to see trends. I like to see where we were and how we're doing, because it's a good way to project how it's going to be in the future. As you can see, there has been consistent improvement year over year from resident satisfaction. So when we look at 2022, the average score for resident satisfaction under all the categories, we take these numbers and we average them out, was a 4.21. The average score in 2024 is 4.31. That's incredible. You guys are doing a great job. Remember, I push this concept a lot. We're talking about 1% changes. And so there's little things that you can do daily that have a really big impact on your resident satisfaction. And so, like, I went through when I was looking at all of this data, and year over year, like, what you guys are doing is incredible. And especially, I want to point out meals and dining, because that has been a struggle. And look at where we were at in 2022 to where we were at in 2024. So that is a big success. I want to congratulate you on your hard work. You are doing a good job at this. Like, clearly, things that we're talking about are resonating. You are taking those extra steps and those extra measures to make sure that the residents are content and feel safe and are satisfied and are happy. So I want to touch on some specifics on that so that we can celebrate them. So again, like I had mentioned, resident satisfaction increased from 2023 to 2024 in every single category. Every category, satisfaction increased. Good job. In 2022, we were in the lower 25th percentile for fulfilling residents' needs, residents' spiritual needs. In 2022, the average score for that category from all of our YCAL members that were participating was a 3.81. The satisfaction on that for this year was a 4.09. Awesome. I am so proud of you for doing that. This is a great way to illustrate an area that needed improvement. And clearly you were taking appropriate measures and actions to better care for your residents' spiritual needs. And that was reflected on the resident satisfaction survey. Again, every little effort that you make has a big impact, and that increase is wonderful to see. Even just looking at the data from 2024 and the satisfaction from the residents, you know, we are really strong with things like lifestyle choices being respected. The overall experience, they're very satisfied. 4.35, you know, this is on a scale of 1 to 5. Would recommend the residents to their family and friends and loved ones. That is awesome. That is one of the best referral sources that you can have, is from the resident themselves praising you. That staff members are courteous, that they're treated with dignity and respect, and that they feel safe. So I am so proud of you for focusing on some of these and achieving these high marks and recognition in these areas, because that is so important. And I love celebrating the successes. And these are things, when you go back and look at your survey, you can see per facility how you scored. Again, this is the average. And really dive into that information and look at it and use that to your advantage if you're, you know, doing a marketing campaign on social media, or maybe it's something that you post on your front door, put in your signature line on your email, any kind of like community marketing. Utilize that information. If you're talking to a prospective resident and their family, talk about, you know, the customer experience, like the great customer care that you have, because that's what it falls under, right? Lifestyle choices being respected, overall experience satisfaction, that your staff are caring and respectful and courteous of the residents. So please celebrate that. I want to see more of that when I open up LinkedIn and Facebook, because I love seeing all of those wonderful kudos that you guys share on social media. And then, you know, for every good, there's always room for improvement. We can always do better. So what I want to look at for right now, at least for this next quarter, and even as you look forward into 2025 for the remainder of the last 6 months of the year, what can we work on? And how can we support like a 5% increase in satisfaction for 2025? Historically, meal and dining received the lowest satisfaction scores. And even if we focus on two aspects of this, food temperature and meal planning participation. So food temperature it seems to be one of the lowest scored categories, and it has like the lowest rate of satisfaction. So I'm asking you to review and break down your meal service process. You know, at one point, checking into a hotel took a long time, right? You would have to go in, you'd have to wait in line, you'd have to talk to the clerk to get your keys. And now there's an app for many hotels where you can just get a digital key and go right up to your room. At some point, somebody stopped and said, how can we improve this process? When people are saying, well, this is just how it's always been done, this is the only way to do it, I'm challenging you to look at your meal service process. What steps or actions could be modified to ensure food is maybe 1 to 3 degrees warmer? Again, a small percentage, a little bit warmer, that would then translate into increased satisfaction rates. So take some time to look at that and review that and see what can we do from point A to point B, from the time that the food is ready to go to the time that it is served to the resident. Is there anything we can do, any small efficiency, any small change, any small tweak that we can do to improve that? And then also with the meal planning and participation, look at things like, do you have a meal plan survey or suggestion box that residents can put in to say, hey, I really like this meal. This meal wasn't so great. Here's some ideas that we can do. Do you have a resident food and dining committee? Do you have residents actively giving you feedback on, here's some ideas for meals? Are you polling residents monthly, quarterly, at any kind of metric that you set to get their feedback? And then looking at that and trying to improve it. Again, you can always incorporate cultural or holiday specific meals if you're not already doing that. Maybe you used to have like a raised bed vegetable or herb garden that hasn't survived and you want to replant it, or maybe you don't have that already. Get residents involved in the gardening of that and the harvesting of that and using that in meal prep. And I also am asking, and I don't need answers right now, but I do want this feedback. If there is specific dietary and dining programs, support, resources that you want from experts, we work with a lot of great partners that are eager to provide you with resources that you need to achieve better results. Or even if it's something like brainstorming ideas and processes, reach out to me. I'm happy to provide suggestions and resources and tools. And so I really want that feedback. What can I do? What can we do as an association to serve you better in this category so that we can help support you with increased satisfaction rates? And so I am going to stop talking right now. I mean, obviously, if you have any questions, speak up, put it in the chat box, or email me. That's fine. But I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that our important guest, Lori, can share hers.
Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing well. I'm Lori Koeppel. I wear a couple hats in the state of Wisconsin, but one thing that I do is I'm the clinical researcher for the Clinical Resource Center, and part of that is also updating the resources and expanding the resources that are available to WCCEAL participating assisted livings. So today I just wanted to take a few minutes and show you couple resources that we've been working on and even give you some possible solutions to the goal Jenna was just talking about with meal planning. First, when you go into equality, there is a resource section. And for those of you who have been WCCEAL members, you may have noticed that some of the resources have changed lately. What we focused on was to refresh, in particular, the falls resource section, which resulted in prompting a change to one of your QI variables so that you could look at updating your assessment information. We created different means for you to cross-compare existing fall assessment tools that are applicable to the assisted living environment. And we broke out categories. So you could choose what fits best for your patient population to incorporate into your fall prevention and management programs. We linked for you in Wisconsin, Falls Free Wisconsin, is a program that has a list of all of the active evidence-based fall management and fall prevention programs that are available to you throughout the state of Wisconsin. The table that's located within this resource I have listed, Fall's evidence-based and best practices, can point you to active programs that may be ongoing within your communities, opportunities for you to grow and train your own experts in fall management and prevention programs, and also a list of exceptional fall strategy resources that we have available to us in Wisconsin. In addition to the changes that we created in this resource tab for WCCEAL participating assisted livings. We also drove and would like to drive continued participation and access to the full clinical resource center. So this now is not only going to be available to WCCEAL participating assisted livings who are in good standing, but also it will be available to those that may have lost their good standing so that you can access these resources to rebuild your programs to seek the good status and good standing. I'm going to quickly go into the Clinical Resource Center. And Jenna and Taylor, did my screen switch for the team?
You're good.
Good. On the main Clinical Resource Center site, I am not sure how many of you have ever accessed that before. But again, this is a website that we are working through feedback from stakeholders and our advisory committee to refresh and to make sure it remains the most valuable and relevant information and a one-stop type shop when you're seeking to identify those evidence-based practices that can drive your workflows in the assisted living setting. We have many different categories that we focus on, but today I wanted to show you two different things. So if you go, for example, into the fall risk care area, we are outlining now resources that are applicable to either the assisted living environment or to the nursing home environment or to both. And there's a search feature that you can, I'm just going to click on that for time's sake. There's a search feature that you can highlight only those that are assisted living applicable or both, so that you don't spend your time going through resources that you might not be able to apply to your environment. We do not have all of the care areas updated yet. I'm working on it. It is a work in process. So we appreciate your feedback on that. If you like it, if there's something you'd like to change, you can let us know by submitting an email to the CRC help desk. The last care area I want to show you today is in response to Jenna talking about ways that you might be able to enhance the dining experience. One of our care areas is the person-centered care section. And in the guidelines area, you will find some innovative ideas that you can apply in your environments to work into your plans of actions to improve the dining satisfaction. One of those key resources is the dining practice standards from the Pioneer Network. And there also is some additional resources that you might find applicable for dining and person-centered care area. Last, I just thought of one more area, sorry guys, that I could show you that I think would be of help. We just recently updated the nutrition and hydration care area using a registered dietitian to give us feedback. So you will find that you have standards of practice that they're nationwide. These can be applied to the assisted living environment. That also might help you as you're looking to perhaps freshen up your menu, look at different strategies to meet the needs of the population that you're currently serving. It's just a few ideas for you. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and see if I have any quick questions. If you don't have questions now, you can always reach out to us at the CRC help desk email. And I receive those emails or talk to Jenna and or Taylor and they can get us connected. We are here to help.
Yeah. And Lori, as you were talking, something kind of popped up in my brain. I had to write it down. If you aren't already, there's two options or two ideas that I have. Do you have WCCEAL and like the CRC process and sites as part of your new employee orientation? If you don't, I think it'd be really awesome if you could dedicate maybe a half an hour for them, whoever your
Yeah.
new staff member is, to log into the site, uh, play around with the site, kind of review it a little bit, look at the information so that they remember it's a resource. And it wouldn't hurt to send out some reminders, maybe a couple times a year, to your staff to say, hey, do you remember you have access to this information? Because it is a great resource. I find myself going to it a lot and utilizing it just for my own sake, so I can have some background information and understand some processes, having not had facility provider experience before. It is an awesome resource, and like Lori said, feedback is great.
Oh, yeah.
Improvement is great. So send
We,
feedback, or if something is say, hey, what do you have this, or what about this?
it's,
Share it. We love that. Lori, I know
it's
Lori.
forever evolving. If I'll just end with this, it's forever evolving. This was founded some time ago when the World Wide Web wasn't as accessible to us. So we want to make sure that this stays that place that you go to. I mean, anybody can Google, but who has the time to point and click through 10 different sources to try to find that one document that you're looking for? We do that for you. So it's a one-stop shop. We keep the most relevant and up-to-date guidances, resources, and hot tips and tools out there for you. We work with, it used to be called AMDA, the American Medical Directors Association. Now it's called PALT Med. They give us a lot of nursing home and assisted living series resources. We just reviewed our current list, and our understanding is they are working to update their clinical practice guidelines and expand their resources and tools. I was just looking at some communication systems for physicians in the assisted living environment preview. They're not quite out yet, and also some tools that they're going to be giving us to monitor for effects of medication and such that definitely can be applied in the assisted living environment. So I'm excited about this being one of those go-to tools for you as you continue to pursue quality through WCCEAL.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you.
Always welcome. And
All
before
right,
everyone
I'm gonna go.
heads out for the day, just want to share a final piece of some insight and information. So let me share my screen here. Hopefully. Are we good? Can you see this? Takeaways and 100-day challenge, hopefully. So just a few takeaways. Review your survey results, use that data to your advantage. That's why we do this. We want to help you improve. We want you to be the best of the best. Use WCCEAL and the QID website. Use the Clinical Resource Center, because there's so many incredible resources and data and information that is free to you, easy to access, and you know that it's validated and true and factual information. Always remember, we only want small, impactful improvements. It's always about progress, never about perfection. Continue to celebrate your successes, share your staff achievements on social media, because we want to change the narrative. We want the experience in long-term care to be a positive one, and it starts with you, and sharing all the successes that you have. And I want to share a very important reminder. You have to put your oxygen mask on first before you can help other people and before you can help the people around you. You are a human. You are the same human at work as you are at home. You've got to give yourself some grace, and you've got to care for yourself. You are in the business of caring for others and providing care to others on a daily basis. And you have to ensure that you are also caring for yourself. So my challenge for you over the next 100 days, what can you do to give yourself 5 minutes of time each day? And maybe it's just 5 minutes of standing in the sun in the morning, before you look at your phone, before you check your email, before you turn on the TV. Maybe it's 5 minutes before you go to bed to write down one good thing that happened, one thing that you're grateful for the day. I mean, it can be something as, I don't know, my tomato plant finally blossomed, and I have a red tomato. Finally, I've never been successful at growing a tomato, and I finally have one. It can be the simplest, smallest joy, as long as you are writing it down and acknowledging the good and the gratitude. It's something that you're grateful for. Self-reflection is really important. That is a self-care measure. So maybe it's just 5 minutes of self-reflection at the end of a really hard day. Maybe it's 5 extra minutes when you're showering or taking a bath just to relax for those 5 minutes and care for yourself. Maybe it's getting up 5 minutes earlier so you have time to go get that delicious coffee or tea or drink that you like to have in the morning. So I'm challenging you to 5 minutes of self-care over the next 100 days. I encourage you to do this. I encourage you to share this idea with your staff, because I promise you, once you start taking care of yourself, it's easier for you to take care of others, and others will also receive better care. So that is all that I have for you today. I hope you have a wonderful week, and look forward to talking with you all again soon. Bye.